Oh man, this is gonna be great. Got Warcraft 3 right here on this main stage. Who's ready to meet your players, huh? All right, here we go. In the red corner, from France, we've got Todd. Now, Todd is one of the best players in the world, but he's never won the championship here at the WCG. Today's match may change all of that. What do you say? Let's give a big round of applause. Todd, come on out! Come on, Todd, here he comes. Woo! Yeah, baby. Oh, wait for the crowd, man. There he is. All right, he's got his game face on. Excited to be here. All right, now competing against Todd in the main stage, right there in that blue pod, we're excited to welcome out Moon. He comes to us from Korea, and he may be the world's most famous Warcraft player. WCG has been a challenge for him. He's here to make his mark this year in Seattle at the Grand Final 2007 World Cyber Games. Let's give a big round of applause. Come on out, Moon! Woo! Come on out here! And Moon, wave the crowd! Here you go, give us a bell. There he is, all right. Okay. They're in their pods, they're locked and loaded. Gonna toss it over to two great commentators. We've got DJ Wheat and Seed. You guys ready to play this?
Absolutely.
Ready to call it?
Yep.
You guys ready to watch an exciting match? Come on, root them on. Here we go. Enjoy the match, everyone. I'll see you when we have a winner.
It's Warcraft 3 here on the stage for the World Cyber Games 2007. I gotta say, Seed, I'm excited for a lot of different reasons here. First off, it's amazing to think that Spirit Moon, a guy that has won competitions around the world, is just now premiering for the first time in the World Cyber Games ever. And in addition, Todd, who has always been a very fierce competitor here in the World Cyber Games and in international competitions, we couldn't ask for a better matchup here on stage. Additionally, Seed, this is it. This is for you, the premier broadcast match of the World Cyber Games at Warcraft 3, and I'm just excited for you. Seed, are you excited to be here?
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very awesome match. Two great players. They've played in past tournaments. The Blizzard Worldwide Invitational is a great game there. So just a great history between these two great players.
Absolutely, and you know, what will we see new history made here today? We are in the group stages, so it's not necessarily, you know, the game is crucial for how they're seated in the bracketed play. But ultimately, one of these players will lose, and you know, it's not going to affect it either way. I expect to see both these guys move out of their group. Let's introduce Todd here. First off, there you see it. World Cyber Games 2006, second place. 2005, fourth place. 2004, third place. You notice there's no first place on there. He wants to capture that this year. And who knows, maybe he'll be able to do it.
Now, with Todd, we haven't seen him play in any major tournaments recently, so we don't know how strong he is. He could come out here playing very, very well, or maybe he hasn't been practicing in these last few weeks. So I'm very interested to see how strong Todd will be.
Of the human players, do you feel like Todd is one of the strongest human players?
It's up there with Todd and with Sky. Todd has had tons of problems beating Sky. That's basically why he has not won World Cyber Games yet. He was knocked out both years by Sky. So it's those two.
Well, we're looking to see what he's going to bring to us to the table. And there you see in the blue pod from Group B, we've got Spirit Moon as the Night Elf. And you can see his WCG history is he doesn't have a long track record, which is, again, surprising because this is a guy who has won, in fact, the last three competitions that we just discussed earlier. He was just in New York last weekend for Digital Life and walked away. He beat Sweet in the finals. It was a 2-1 situation, but he looked very impressive. He pulled out a lot of unorthodox things that we haven't seen Moon do before, or it's been a long time since he's done it. So I'm excited to see. What's your comment on the fifth race, Spirit Moon?
What really impressed me the most was 2 weeks ago at the Chinese Esports Games, Moon played Sky and he beat him 2-0. So he looks to be very, very strong versus human players.
All right, well, here is the map information for today's map. It is going to be Tyrannus Stand And there you see the 3D fly through, and now 2D. It's a 1 versus 1 map, which means there's only two starting locations. Both players are going to know where exactly they are. But Seed, you brought up an interesting point earlier on about the expansions. Tell us about that.
Yes, there's one expo near each base, but those are very hard to creep. So the players, when they expo, will be going for the ones further from their base. The other interesting thing about this match is we'll see very quick level 3 heroes, because it's very easy to creep quickly on this map.
Right, and what those heroes will be, well, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, and we don't know, but the game is going to begin soon. So let's let it start and find out. All right, folks, it's Warcraft 3 here on the main stage for the World Cyber Games 2007 Grand Finals in Seattle. I'm DJ Wheat. Joining me is Seed from Imbalanced, and we have got a great matchup here on stage from France. Todd playing as the human race versus Spirit Moon from Korea as the Night Elf race. The first time that Spirit Moon has competed in a World Cyber Games event. Todd, he is definitely no stranger to WCG. In fact, he's even got a few medals under his belt. Unfortunately, he's missing that gold, and that is one of the goals here for Todd this year. We're on Terranistan. You got any initial predictions for us, Seed?
I think Todd's gonna try to expo early, and that Moon will see that coming, and he'll be trying really hard to take that expo down. If it comes up, we're gonna see huge tier 3 armies. If it doesn't get up, Moon will win it quickly.
All right, and this is from the Warcraft 3 Group B Full League. These players play in group stages, and ultimately their results in the group stages will determine how they are seeded in the bracketed play, which will resume play on Saturday and Sunday. And it looks like we are officially in the match. You can see that Todd will be playing as the human race in the purple. His opponent, Spirit Moon, will be playing as Night Elf in the blue. And pretty typical build for Todd as human to start off here. We saw the barracks going up. Of course, we've got a house as well. Now, one thing that I've noticed Moon do a few times on Terranistan, and what a lot of Night Elf players will do in general, is their opening build will also serve as a wall of defense.
Right, and one interesting thing here is the early altar for Moon. That means that he probably will not go with a neutral hero, so we'll probably be seeing a Demon Hunter for Moon. He also uses that Ancient of War there. He'll be creeping that Goblin Lab very quickly.
All right, so the opening build continues here. There you see Todd once again as human in the 10 o'clock position, and purple, and Moon as Night Elf in the 4 o'clock position. Now, on a map like Terranistan, you don't necessarily have to creep, but you'll find that not have to scout, but you'll find that these guys will scout just to see, is there anything that their opponent is doing that maybe is a little bit unorthodox to the map. But as you mentioned, and I think is a good point, is that a lot of these players who practice their most deadly strategies won't necessarily try to bring them out so early in the competition in hopes to hold them for the later matchups, which will inherently be very difficult. And look at this. We talked about how Moon has been very random with his heroes as of late, and this match is no different. We're starting with the Warden, which to me is just, it's very interesting move by Moon.
Definitely. What we might see with him is when Todd leaves his base to go and put this expo up, the Warden will come in and will absolutely massacre peasants. Now, Todd, he can counter this with one Arcane Tower in his base. We'll see if he'll see that coming and put that up.
Right, the Warden is going to be very effective, obviously, versus those peon lines that are in there. Now we got a nice little strat here by Moon starting off. He puts Lightning Shield around one of the archers, and he works on this other creep camp while he's got this going on. And here comes one of the peasants in from Todd. So Todd's got a really good idea as to what is going on inside of Moon's base. In addition, he also knows that Moon has chosen to go with the Warden as his first hero. So that's going to be an early look into Moon's strategy and what he might be able to do. And we are going to see this peasant unfortunately go down in a bloody mess there by the Warden. And we did see the hero there for Todd, and that is the Archmage, which I think is pretty typical of what we expected from Todd.
very, very standard. Todd's gonna go after the Expo here. It's slightly harder to creep, but it is closer to his base, so it'll be much easier to defend for him. The question is, how soon can Moon get up there to try and stop this Expo from going up?
Well, we've got level 2 Archmage and a level 2 Warden. Both players definitely increasing in level as expected here on Tyrannus stand. And as Seed mentioned, we do have Todd working on this Expo.
Oh, that is huge
early.
there. Tome of EXP for Todd gets him that quick level 3. Very, very awesome item for him.
And as Seed mentioned, it basically gives you free experience. It's like you don't even have to do anything. Boom, he hit level 3, and that will definitely give him a leg up in this matchup. It means that Moon's going to have to work a little bit more for that. Good observation, Seed. So the creeping here continues. And so far, do you see anything really unusual about these two players' strategies?
Moon's really slowing down. Normally he would push much harder, and you see Todd's going to come over here, try to mess with his base. This will slow him down, and then let that Expo finish. This is a very awesome play for Todd so far.
All right, Todd making his move up right now. He's going to be focusing on a few of these Wisps that are trying to heal that Ancient of War. Now he moves over to the Archers. Archers trying to move out of the way. We are in nighttime, so they're going to be able to Shadow Meld out, but the Warden is going to stay alive. Trying to take out this Footman right here. One Archer does look like is about ready to go down, and may, if he comes out of Shadow Meld right here, but it looks like an Archer coming in from the back line. Todd doing a great job just keeping it on point here, and we do see the Warden of Moon now going after this Footman, and Todd's going to do whatever he can to try to save that one, and it is going to go down, but now the Water Elemental is going to try to put on a little bit of show there for the Warden, but they decide to get out of there. So a quick and early push there for Todd. He was able to take out at least one Archer, but I think it was at the cost of 2 Footmen.
Yeah, but what worked well for him is the Expo's probably finished. We haven't seen it here, but there's probably some towers there so that Moon can't take that down. That's definitely a huge gain for Todd. He'll lose Footman all day long if he gets his Expo finished.
And you are absolutely right. The Expo is down. I do believe that the Warden caught a quick glimpse of that, and I did see a tower in the process of being constructed there. So some early defense, and there it is. The tower is up. It is not an offensive or defensive tower quite yet. But I believe that they'll get that up earlier. And there it is, the Warden coming out and going to town on this peon line right here. And you pretty much called it, Seed. You said that you thought that Todd would start for that early expansion and Moon would do everything he could in his power to try to hold on to that. We see the militiamen have been called out. Oh no, we've got 3 Footmen now for Todd as well as the Archmage. Archers coming in from the flank, but they're going to instantly be chased out by those Footmen. And Moon's going to be okay with that. He's going to take the damage on his Warden and take out, I think, about 3 peons there, about 3 peasants there in the process.
Yeah, I don't think Moon can actually take that down now. You see him teching. He'll be going for Dryads, maybe tier 3 bears. Todd's also teching, so it's very, very close here. With all those peasant kills, it definitely evens this up. Early on, Todd looked to be doing better, but Moon's brought it back.
Continuing creeping here is Todd. He's got 4 Footmen now, and he will easily take out those level 1 creeps here, and will continue his XP reign now. I believe that the Warden has hit level 3, but the Archmage, if not hit level 4 already, is going to be very, very close. And there you see a Hunter's Hall going up as well. I would expect to see a few more buildings coming out here, and definitely the tech structure of what Moon will be going for very soon. Archers now moving up across the bridge that leads to Todd's base, stopped short by the Archmage. Looks like the Warden wants to go back to this expansion for Todd, and there we're going to see a nice AoE there. Phantom Blades by the Warden from Moon. He's going to at least drop these guys down, but he's got 5 Footmen on his tail, so he's going to hightail it out there and wait another day to get on this. These Archers now also on the chase here, as both players really trying to do everything they can. It does look like the first Arcane Tower is up, just as you called it. It's going to make it much harder for Moon to try to push into that Expo.
So what the Arcane Tower does is it sucks mana from its target, so the Warden can't use that Fan of Knives to absolutely massacre peasants like it had been doing. Second hero for Moon, he's going with a Naga. That's a very, very standard second hero, commonly used.
And Nagasiewicz is going to find the Archmage right away, and that level 1 Naga can't get too offensive because it probably is going to go down pretty easily. Definitely need to get some XP on that Naga early on here. But the Warden looks like he may be going back to that Expo here. Not really sure. Definitely trying to stay as close to Todd's base as he can. And I think both players right now pretty much playing to how we expected them to play. And the second hero coming out for Moon might give him a slight advantage. We may be seeing a second hero coming out very shortly here. And it does look like we are going to have the Mountain King coming out.
And Todd's teching all the way to tier 3. We don't really know what he'll be getting there. He could go mass steam tanks. He could go knights and griffins. It really could be anything at this point.
All right, a little fight in the middle here as a Wisp will try to get out. He will detonate before he is taken out. And here we've got another Ancient of War now helping out with the creeping. And this is the natural expansion here for Moon. So he's finally going to start working on that one. Whether or not he's actually going to prepare himself for an expansion is yet to be seen. Once again, oh, here comes Todd in from the south. Archmage and about 5 footmen. And let's see if he's going to do anything here. He's going to put the water elemental up first. He might try to go for some sort of slight surround here with the footmen, but it's not going to happen. He's actually going to chase to the back line where these archers are. And a nice job saving that single archer there, bringing him back. But that archer is going to easily follow that fireball of the Archmage. Pretty typical battle here so far. Both players just trying to take out these low red level tier 1 units, and there I do believe is the Tree of Life just outside of range.
Definitely
you
is.
can see that at the top of your screen, so that Tree of Life will form and then will uproot itself to begin the expansion.
Yeah, but the key thing is Todd scouted that, so he'll definitely stop that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's going to be key there. I think that Moon may have had a little bit of time, but I mean, obviously, I think Todd knew Moon was going to have to expand, especially once he got the towers up, and he wasn't going to have as easy of a time trying to get harassment done on that expo. I also noticed a couple of Ancient Allures coming out, and that's going to mean that the tier structure of Moon will expand. We've been seeing him go a lot of Dryads lately, so it's going to be interesting to see if that will be part of his plan here today.
Yeah, we'll see Dryads. Todd's one of his issues right now is he's going all the way to tier 3 units, so he doesn't have much of an army now, so he can't really stop that expo from going up. He'll have so much cash though that once he actually hits tier 3, he can very quickly get a large tier 3 army. But till then, he can't really stop anything that Moon does.
And we do have a Goblin Zeppelin coming in now. Look at these towers setting up here. It's not going to stop Moon from going in and interrupting his peon line, though. He's going to be able to drop one right there. A second one's going to go down as well. They're right in the middle, and a TP back, trying to save this expansion. I believe that the Zeppelin dropped these guys in here, and as Moon TP's back, the Zeppelin will pick all those guys up. Now, they got to be careful with that Zeppelin, because the Archer's right now taking it out, and the Zeppelin dropped all the units before it was taken down, but that's going to be an expensive mistake right there. Sea Witch will go back, grab some health out of the Moonwell there, and will stay alive for a little bit longer. Now these footmen and the Mountain King, accompanied with that water elemental, are now going to try to get out of here. I think, however, because of the Naga, they might be able to take out this footman here. Nope, it's going to retreat back just a little bit and let that one go by. But the Ancient Allures are out now, and we'll find out what will come out of those Ancient Allures here any moment.
It'll probably be Bears, because you can see their Moon's teching all the way to tier 3. He'll be going Bears, and that means Todd either has to tower up and use steam tanks, or pull out something like knights and griffins. And it's going to be steam tanks, 2 workshops going down, and a goblin sapper coming out. That I have no clue what he's using that for. That'll just blow up buildings. He's hiding one. He's got a second one running on that bridge. He'll probably try to blow that expo up and try to pull something out here.
Well, he's not accompanied by any units either, so that's going to be interesting. Creeping continues. It looks like the Archmage is inside the base of Spirit Moon, going against that Ancient of Wonders right there. The Warden is going to head back to base, and here comes that Sapper. Sapper's going to go in. He's going to pass that Ancient of War, go right for the Tree of Life, and the Tree of Life is going to take a big hit there, down to about 70-60% energy.
He takes it down.
Second Sapper taken out by the Naga Sea Witch.
And the Warden goes down.
The Warden does go down. Apparently, Moon not able to micro that out right there, and I think that we definitely Todd with the advantage right now. Already level 4 Archmage just hit, and it's going to be tough. I believe the Naga's only level 2, but big loss there, losing the Warden for Moon.
Yeah, and if those steam tanks come out soon, and he takes down some of those Ancients of Lore or that Exo, it could be GG right here. Todd looks to be in a very, very commanding position, and the Paladin's coming out for a very strong tri-hero.
That's right. We got Todd going all the way with all 3 heroes. He's going to drop them off with that Zeppelin, and I think he's in pretty good shape right now. And yeah, losing that Warden right there could be a very, very big deal for Moon. But in in his defense, we saw a matchup versus Sweet not too long ago where he went with Beastmaster, and the Beastmaster must have fallen at least 4 times during the matchup. He still was able to come out on top. And we do have Druids of the Claw coming out right now. A couple of Dryads there to sort of pad the army, and that may just help with creeping. But ultimately, the Tier 3 units, the Bears, will be the focus for Spirit Moon.
Now, Todd's creeping this out. He might expo one more time because right now the gold's even for both players. So one more expo would give him that extra edge.
We also saw an Archer there for Moon go up, check out the base of Todd, and definitely found out that there is going to be some trickery from Todd's camp there, and he's probably very well aware that it could be those tanks coming out there, but he's still got to worry about not only the 3 heroes, but bringing his Warden back as well. The Warden right now losing some very valuable creeping opportunities while these other 3 heroes just go around and wreck the rest of the map. Warden's got about 10 seconds
and
left
Steam
before
Tank
it comes
drop
out.
coming in on that
Big.
expo there. He'll be able to take out the gold mine there.
Yeah, Moon immediately knows what's going on. He puts all the wisps from the gold mine and immediately starts bringing it back up. Here we're going to have a Goblin Shredder come in. They're picked up by the Goblin Zeppelin. A very, very nice move by Todd, watching that one very closely. That is going to be some pretty big damage there on the Expo. It wasn't enough to take it out, and more than likely, those wisps did heal it back up. Here the Bears, though, in bear form, are now going to go after these tanks, and it's going to be a race to see who can take this one out first. Those Bears aren't doing a heck of a lot of damage, and now the first Steam Tank going into Moon's base as well. The expansion of Moon has gone down, and one Steam Tank in the back is being hit on by that Warden, but here comes Todd as well. This could just be too much for Moon, and what a victory this would be for Todd in the first match of the WCG.
Yeah, but one thing to note here is the Expo hasn't actually gone down, just the gold mine part of it, so it'll stop him from mining for maybe 30 seconds.
Right, I mean, he will have to re-entangle the gold mine. It will cost him valuable time, and you can see there that's exactly what he's doing. Todd, though, playing a very focused game. I think he's definitely working his attacks in his favor, using the units that he's got out, as well as the 3 heroes. He's already taken out 1 Moonwell, and if he drops this one, he's going to be below pop. He's right now at a 50 or 60-50, so Moon right now cannot make any more. Now we do see the Warden going after the Pally. The Pally will die thanks to the fan of knives coming out from the Warden, and the Warden's immediately going to start going after the other heroes. He's stunned by the Mountain King, and all that's left from that push from Todd is 1 single Steam Tank, but that Steam Tank did a lot of damage there in Moon's base.
Yeah. Definitely. The big question is, what does Todd go for next? Steam Tanks generally don't actually win for you. They just slow the enemy down while you bring out some 80 food massive armies. So the question is, what does he pull out next?
Good question right here, and where is this? This could possibly be a second Expo here for Todd. Now, this Archer is in the midst of all of these towers and looks like he was being taken out. I didn't actually see a Town Hall, but I mean, more than likely, it's got to be up there, we'll see from the observer. Coming out. Now we do have Arcane Vault coming out, maybe some casters going to be coming out here for Todd to help, as you mentioned, trying to build up this army and using those Steam Tanks in the process. Steam Tanks are going to return back to base. It looks like we're going to have a teleportation by the Warden back to main base. The Naga Sea Witch is still in there with a single Dryad. And here's a group of Bears, 5 of them, that could be here to help pad out the army. Naga Sea Witch also level 3, about to hit level 4. And those Bears are just south of the expansion of Todd. What they're going to do or what he plans to do on it, well, it looks like he's just going to continue to creep for now. But that expansion was saved, and it looks to be back in working order for Spirit Moon.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Spirit Moon might try to Expo in the bottom left to answer the Expo by Todd. He's definitely scouted it by now, and still just more Steam Tanks for Todd. He could try just a massive number of them to try to take out Moon's main, but that hasn't really worked in the past for very many players.
And now we're going to have both heroes of Spirit Moon and a single Dryad making his way in. Going after both of these heroes. Initially was heading focus firing on the Pally, switched over to the Mountain King. Not really sure what the target is here right here because Moon is moving around with the various with the various units of attack. Now going after these Steam Tanks who are now heading south, and they're going to meet up with the Bears of Spirit Moon. They're going to instantly start hitting on this first Siege Tank up front, and Moon might be able to make a nice defensive lineup here. Now the Warden's at about 30% health and is going to get out of there for the time being. These Bears will continue to slam away on these Siege Tanks, but as you can see, it takes a little bit to take one of these things down. So they are going to manage to take one down here, and it will be expensive. Well, it doesn't even look like they're going to get that one down. They're going to switch focus over to the Mountain King, and Moon will continue to, you know, try to keep all of his damage on the heroes of Todd.
Now, one thing to note with those tanks is when you kill them, it doesn't really level your heroes up very quickly. So Todd can do this all day long, and he doesn't really have to be scared of some level 6 heroes coming out. And these Ancients of Lore will go down. That means no more bears for Moon. It looks like Todd is definitely in control of these games. He'll be able to take down a ton of buildings with these Steam Tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be very, very bad. In fact, Naga Sea Witch comes in as well. Naga Sea Witch is hurting badly, trying to get to one of those Moonwells to heals up. Will manage to pull healing from 2, but the Paladin has fallen on another side of the map, and it's Bears versus Steam Cage and the rest of the heroes here. Another Moonwell goes down, and that means Moon is under population once again. These two Ancient of Wars have uprooted themselves. Archer trying to get away. Archer's gonna get stunned. Warden may go down. Warden does go down, and Mountain King is leveled up. Warden cannot get away from there. And man, Todd is doing a great job here working the various areas of the map. I really think that his multi-tiered assaults from various positions have been impressive. And we talked a little bit about the fact that Moon has been playing in a lot of tournaments to practice up for World Cyber Games. Todd has not, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been practicing. And I think based off of what we're seeing here today, he's definitely been staying on top of his game.
And he's going with flying machines now. I don't really know what he's going for there. They're mainly anti-air units. They can take out buildings fairly quickly, but Moon doesn't have any air, so I don't see why Todd would be going for those units at this point.
Well, he did go to the upgrade that allows the flying machines to attack land units. And right now, we do have 3 Ancients of War set up at the expansion of Moon. He could easily pump out Archers, Dryads to try to get that damage on the air units. But I sort of agree with you. I mean, it might just be a tactical strategy for Todd to, to try to get some units out there that can damage but not necessarily take damage. And they are going to mass up just north of the base. So we're going to find out what these guys are going to actually do. The Naga Sea Witch will continue some creeping here, and while these guys have a moment to breathe, they're going to try to take him out. But look, here comes the hero trifecta of Todd in from the back. He does not decide to creep jack Spirit Moon right there. Instead, he isolates one of these bears, and Naga Sea Witch does a good job teleporting that bear back to home base. Also, I see some Druids of the Talon, which whether or not we've got the Cyclone upgrade or not, but Moon definitely known for his impressive skills on the micro of Cyclone. That could come into play soon. It does look like Moon's population has also recovered after the Steam Tanks just raged through those Moonwells.
Yeah, definitely, and I believe I just saw, yeah, Todd pushed past 50 food into upkeep. That probably means he'll be jumping up to 80 food very, very quickly, and that's a mass of flying machines there. Those can actually take down buildings very, very quickly if you mass up, say 20 of them, which is really easy because they are very, very cheap units, only 1 food for each one.
And it looked like they had a direction to go. They looked like they had a mission, but they stopped briefly to meet up with the Archmage, and now they are going to split off. They could be heading directly for that expansion. Naga Sea Witch and the Warden are going to spot these guys instantly, and as you can see, they do some pretty decent damage versus those flying machines, but masked up like that, if Todd can sneak them into a position that Moon is not watching, it could be pretty devastating for Moon. Moon now having about 7 or 8 bears here, continuing to creep around the map. Is going to drop a circlet of nobility right there. Whether or not a hero will actually come around and pick it up is yet to be seen. Here comes what could be another flying machine attack on the expansion once again. And they are going to make their way across that little creek there. And again, they're going to instantly go after that tree of life.
And off
here
and
comes the
fast.
Nagasewitch out from the Wisp to try to heal this up. And they are going to get the heal
Players'
on.
forces are under attack.
But Moon had to uproot his tree of life there, meaning it'll be another 45 seconds until he can start mining.
Good observation right there. It would be another entangle. That will be the second entangle of that expansion that Moon's had to deal with. More steam tanks coming into the base of Spirit Moon, trying to take down those Moonwells to stop. And look at this ancient, that was the Tree of Life actually. The Tree of Life is getting pounded right there. And Wisp coming over and trying to save it. But the Tree of Life may go down. A couple more attacks, and there it is, Tree of Life, peace. And that means that the expansion of Spirit Moon is suffering greatly, and the steam tanks are rolling over the buildings of Moon right now. I have to say, Todd looking in a fantastic position. What do you feel like Moon could do in order to bring this back? Now, this is the Tree of Life from main base, so Goldmine must have collapsed back at main. That's even more crucial that Moon gets that expansion down, because he has no income right now.
Yeah, definitely. If I was Todd right now, I would just go to that lower left base, tower that up so that every single mine is filled up. Moon would be down to just one mine, and that would pretty much seal it right there.
I think that would definitely be a good strat. Whether or not that's actually going to happen, well, who knows? I think that definitely Todd is playing this game very, very smart. And now the trifecta of heroes going to meet up here with the Bears. Bears going to go under assault. They're instantly going to hit that Pally. Pally will go invisible there briefly, and not much that those Bears are going to be able to do. They take on that house real quickly. Here comes another assault by the Flying Machines on the Tree of Life. They will back off as they start to take damage. One Flying Machine goes down, but that won't, I mean, there's a mass there. It's going to take a lot more than one Flying Machine to stop some of the damage that they're doing. And it looks like Moon's base has completely been devastating. Last but not least is the altar. Altar goes down. And wow, the base of Spirit Moon, the original base, is no more. He has basically completely uprooted his entire base and moved it over to his natural expansion. How important or how likely do you think it is, Seed, that Moon is going to try to take over that southwest expansion?
He has to, because at this point he has almost no gold. It's a 2-to-1 edge for Todd here. And if he doesn't do something quick, Todd will pull out some massive army and start fighting him. I'm still interested to see when Todd actually pulls out fighting units, not just anti-building units, and when he actually fights this to end it, because that has to be coming soon for him.
Right, well, he does look like he has the buildings to be able to make that happen, but you're absolutely right in your observations here. And I'm not sure what that was inside the base here that is going after.
He's just killing off extra peasants there to free up food for the rest of his army.
Gotcha, as he will plan to put something together here, and we've got an aviary coming out as well, so maybe the area assault will continue here for Todd.
He'll probably pull out Griffins, flying units. They do magic damage, and they absolutely own Bears. So if he pulls those out, and Moon doesn't have the money to counter that, he could easily win this game.
All right, well, here comes the Warden solo this time, making his way into the northeast expansion of Todd. Todd's 3 heroes waiting outside. A level 3 Mountain King, wasn't really sure, didn't quite see the rest. And we do have the fan coming out there. A little bit of AoE damage, but you know, I don't know how much that's actually going to hurt Todd, considering that he's got that other expansion up as well. I'm assuming that his main base gold mine has collapsed, so he's not getting any more economy from that one. But he's also got 2 other bases up, so ultimately he's got a pretty good source of income. And of course that aviary is almost up. Yes, gold mine has collapsed over on Todd's side, as it should have. And I think we do see the flying units just north of what is now the main base. And there is what looks to be another expansion by Moon. But these steam tanks might be able to come in here and stop this real quickly. Steam tanks coming in from the northeast, and they're going to go after these Moonwells again and try to cripple that population of Moon once again.
But this move here is you keep his army tied up with these steam tanks while you tower up that bottom left X with one more mine for Todd, and this game is probably over.
You're absolutely right. It'll be a race to see who gets it. Steam Tank's going to roll in now. Focus fire on the Naga. At the same time, the Flying Machines come in. They're going to try to take out the Tree of Life. Wisps come out to try to heal it up, and I think the Tree of Life will go down. And yes, it does. Moon lacking any sort of an income right now, and Moon knows that he has got to be in trouble right now, as Todd is definitely putting the heat on, and Todd could cause what I believe would be a first official upset here of the World Cybergate. And it does look like the Mountain King is hurting a little bit, down to about 30% health. He heals up there with a pot briefly. We do have a stun on the Warden, and we've got some offensive towers as well outside of that expansion. So this is going to be it. This is probably going to be the final battle right here. And I've got to say, I expect Todd to pull this one out.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think Moon has more than one or two buildings left, meaning that this game is basically over. His only chance, Moon's only chance would be massive, high level heroes. He's almost got level 6 on that Warden there, and the Mountain King almost goes down, but still, all these steam tanks will just take down every single building, and that's game over right there.
We do have Warden, I believe, hitting level 5. Mountain King level 3, going back to base. Warden actually level 6 right now. How much that will come into play, I'm not sure. Pally now getting hit, and will run away, and the steam tanks continue to roll down. Now, how well those bears are... Oh, Archmage goes down, and that means 2 heroes down now for Todd right now, and somehow Moon is staying in this game.
Yeah, he's got one tree of life. I think it's in the bottom left right there, but with those towers there, he probably won't be able to get much done there, and this looks basically to be over.
Well, he is going to get it up. He'll now start to entangle the gold mine, checking out this expansion, or what was the expansion of Moon. It is now down. Both heroes for Todd back in play, so we've got 3 heroes for Todd. These steam tanks are starting to go down, though, and you can definitely see that Moon has been able to take quite a few of these out. He'll continue to do so. Steam tank now going to move up. Tree of Life will be forced to uproot and attack this steam tank, and here come a few more. This could be good. I think of that if that Tree of Life goes down. And interestingly enough, these 4 defensive towers are going to be a huge help for Todd here, as the rest of Moon's units are trying to go down to help out that Tree of Life. And that Tree of Life is not looking to be in good shape, eating tree after tree to try to heal up. Here comes the Warden as well as 2 heroes of Todd. That Tree of Life is definitely going to go down, and we could see it. We're going to have the Naga poured in just at the last moment. Oh, we have another one in construction over here. So Moon's not ready to give up yet. Pally looking very low. Pally does go down. And that will be the second time the Pally has fallen. Warden, and as you mentioned, level 6 Warden definitely inflicting some major damage here in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. If Moon keeps up with these high level heroes, he might actually pull this one out, because he still has that huge army, but he just can't. He just has to take these steam tanks out, or it's over right here. I don't think he can keep on hiding buildings.
And he does put the cancel right there. Moon now, oh, that's an Ancient of Wonders out, so he's starting to put things back together. Again, the siege tank coming in there. Moon says GG, and Todd pulls it off in a very impressive match. Unbelievable. I'm really just beside myself right now. Todd coming out here. He's never won at WCG. He's grabbed himself a silver. He's grabbed himself a bronze, but he's never grabbed a gold. Is this the first step for that to happen, Seed?
Todd just dominated that game. This is what he needs, definitely. And even though he pulled something out, it's definitely no big deal that Moon knows it, because the only time these people would play next would be in the grand finals.
That's right, that's right. And, alternately, it could affect the seeding later on. Todd could go through the rest of his group 5-0. If Moon were to effectively defeat the rest of his opponents, he's still looking at a 4-1, which means that Todd would have the higher seed coming out of that group. How will that come into play? It's unclear right now, but Moon now watching the replay of that last match, trying to figure out what went wrong there. Seed, in your words, in your estimation, where do you think the major turning point for Todd was?
I think when he pulled out the flying machines, that's just a huge, that's so new. Moon definitely did not see that coming until Todd had like 20 finished. So Moon's gotta go back, look at that, and then figure out how do you counter that, because